Hey everybody, today's question comes from Melissa T. And Melissa asks, am I getting enough done during the quarantine? I get that. And actually, I've been getting a lot of questions like that. And I got to admit, I'm feeling some of that pressure too. There's some pressure to get a lot of stuff done during the quarantine. We've got this time and everybody's been saying, if I only had time, I'd write that novel, I'd do that thing, I'd work out, I'd whatever it is. It's valid to do that. I get that. But being productive is not everything. I want you to take some time to grieve and to question and to evaluate. It's not necessarily the best thing to use this downtime to perpetuate more of the status quo. Think about that for a minute with me. I mean, it's wonderful to have that Rocky IV movie montage where we get to the other end of it and we work out and we take on the bad guy. But what if there's no bad guys? Fundamentally, what if there's something else going on here? What if the old status quo, the old way of doing things was part of the problem? I mean, think about how much pressure there is to go out and get something spiritually. People want to attract something or manifest something, or in the self-help world, they want to master their to-do list and get a whole bunch done before anybody else is even awake in the morning and somehow earn their right to exist. But we're getting to a place where we're being told by life, look, just exist right now. Don't go out and get anything. And in fact, when you think about it, those parts of life that have to do with going out and getting a thing, with making a thing, with consuming a thing, those are the things that have been taken away from us. And maybe that's good. Maybe that acquisitive mentality, that dualistic, materialistic paradigm is part of the problem. Maybe the things that are shut down right now are teaching us something about who we really are and what we really are. Here's the deal on a spiritual level. People talk about being a co-creator or a manifestor. I'm a great attractor. These kind of words come around a lot. But let me be as clear as I can about that. God creates. Period. You don't. You are not in the creation business. You're not even a co-creator. That's a myth. That's not how this works. God creates. At best, your job is to be a channel. Your job is to be part of the flow. Your job is to make room so that the creation can happen. The farmer plants the seeds. He doesn't create the plant. Get it? That's how this works. So let's stop trying to create, manifest, and all of that. I mean, think about it with me. How many times in your life have you realized at the end of a long frustration, at a long period of depression or sadness or just bumping your head up against a wall, how many times did you realize that you were the problem? Your desire to control it, your ego stuff was getting in the way. And once you withdrew that and you just kind of went along for the ride, things got easier. How many times? How many times did that relief come when you realized that, you know what? I'm going to let this be what it is and I'm going to learn from it instead of imposing my ego and my will upon it. How many times did things start to work out when you became part of the flow instead of the source? This is the old lesson. Look, the good news is if God is here, there's nothing to attract. And in fact, that attraction mentality, that creation mentality is what's interrupting the flow. What if you just took some time? If God is already here, perfection doesn't have to do with production. It has to do with awareness. I'm not trying to make something. I'm trying to see something. So take some time to work on your vision, to take time to work on your perception of the world around you instead of getting in such a big hurry to create more of what we got in trouble with before. You know what I mean? I got a friend named Daniel Johnson. He's a brilliant man. I've known him for a long time, and I really appreciate all of the things that he says. And Daniel posted a while ago, he said, that word quarantine, the quora, like quarenta, means 40. It has to do with that same idea of Lent. We're in the middle of Lent, and quarantine literally means the Great Lent. And Lent is not a time to create something. Lent is a time to roll away a stone, to get rid of the things that are getting in the way. So here's the question. What are you giving up? What are you giving up that's been getting in your way? Perfection has to do not with making something, not to do with how long you can plank. Perfection has to do with seeing something that's been there all along. So let's join together and give thanks for the things that have been taken away that were getting in the way. And you know what? We're going to get back to a place where we can go out for coffee and go to the mall and all of that stuff. But maybe when we do, we'll be a little bit wiser. And that wisdom doesn't come from creating more stuff. It has to do with seeing what has been there all along. Are you being productive enough during the quarantine? Well, Melissa, I don't know about that, but I don't know if that's the thing to shoot for. Do the next right thing. But take some time to feel your way through this. It's okay to take a breath. That is what is called for on so many levels. Thank you for sending in these questions. Keep them coming. You can do that by writing to me. You can find a contact form on my website. You can post comments wherever you're watching this movie. All of that stuff. The best thing to do is post an Instagram or a Twitter message with the hashtag AskDieter, all one word. I'll be looking out for it. The best thing you can do right now is like and subscribe and share. You know how to do it, and it really makes a difference for me. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be watching. You got this.